Thank you. So we have a beautiful, beautiful Froggy Friday to share with all of you. My name is Barbara Samuel, and that up in my corner up there is Reverend Gwen Smith. And just put your hand on your heart. Just put your hand on your heart as we start sharing this morning, whether we can see you or can't see you, and know that we are so blessed to come together in community. And we are so blessed to be together wherever we land on this beautiful planet today, whatever place you call home or where you're visiting. This is the moment that will never be the same. So look at the person around you. This configuration of love will never be the same, but it grows and expands and transforms each and every one of us. Today we have a beautiful, this evening, this morning, we have a beautiful moment planned for all of you. We have Patrick, Philip, Rehema, and Paul in the house, and they are going to share with each and every one of us their perspective on the first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind text. This text, which we live by, this text with which we espouse our lives, and that changes, that transforms, that manifests. Reverend Gwen's holding it up. The Science of Mind, written by Ernest Holmes. Some like to call him Ernie.
No.
Gwen's like, please don't go there.
No.
I want to start off as we do all things today, and I want us to lay that spiritual foundation, that thing that sets us apart from every other religion, faith, philosophy. It is that thing that we call spiritual mind treatment. And I would love if Michelle Taylor, our lead practitioner, would lay that foundation for us right now today. So open your hearts to receive this message of love. Michelle?
All right, so let's turn within. And we simply know that there is only God. God is the beginning, the now, and the forever. This amazing, powerful presence, this energy that created the entire universe from the moment of the Big Bang. That power, that creation, that wisdom is the very truth of every single thing, of all existence, of every cell and atom and the space in between. For there is no place where God is not. God is the all in all. And because there is only God, then that is the very truth of who I am and who each and every one of us is. We are this presence, this amazing, powerful presence known as God. This is who we are called to be. And so we are actually many names for God as well. Each of us, this presence on the planet, here and now. And so I speak my word today for this time that we have come together, the time that God has called and we have said yes. It's a time of new beginnings, a fresh start. A time where we remember that in this moment we can create the very next moment of our existence and the existence of the planet. It is who we are, always creating, choosing anew, choice and freedom. The past can be let go, simply allowed to be where it is and where it belongs, knowing that in the present, this is the moment of creation. We can set our intention, we can choose, and what we have done is chosen to come together today in this sacred space, remembering that we are this presence of God, that we are called to be more and deeper, called to this oneness, to be the presence of love on the planet, allowing that to be amazing. And so I'm just so grateful for this awareness, grateful for this truth, grateful for knowing. And I release this word into the lawn, knowing it's already done in God. So it is.
So it is. Thank you.
It is.
Oh, being the presence of love on the planet. Just look at this room around you, and I just want you to unmute yourselves for a moment. And the thing that I want you to say to everybody is, I know who you really are. I know
who
who
you really are. I know who you really are. I know who you really are.
I know who you really are.
we are the presence of love on the planet. I love this treatment, Michelle. That's beautiful. Okay, we're going to open up and we're going to start and we're going to sing as we do all things. Let me just try to share what I'm sharing here. I'm pressing something different. Here we go. We're going to start, and I'll start, and Reverend Gwen, will you join in? We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. Reverend Gwen.
We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are a part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one.
We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. When it's all said and done, let me see those spirit fingers. We are one. Yeah, we are one. Good morning, and happy day, and welcome everybody. I am so happy and so delighted. You know, in her treatment, Michelle said, when we are called, we answer. And I called these 4 individuals and I asked them if they would be willing to share their wisdom, their insight, their life experience on the first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind text, the thing itself, what it does, how to use it. Somebody help me. The thing itself, what it does, how to use it. Well, we're going to find out. Oh my gosh, this is vacation brain for me. And when I called them and I asked them if they would be willing to share their wisdom, each and every one of them jumped in and profoundly said yes. As a matter of fact, Philip said, this is the one I'm going to talk about because it rings in my heart. So when opportunity knocks, we must answer. We must answer because that's spirit creating a space for us. Yes? Yes. So I've asked them each to take their time. I've asked them to share their wisdom, their light. I've asked them to be the truth of who they are in this moment. And so it is my joy to welcome to our entire stage right here on this platform, Patrick, Rehema, Philip, and Paul, in that order, to share the first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind text. So ladies and gentlemen, let's bring our love, our CSL Kenya love to these folks as they share their light. Patrick, unmute yourself and share. We love you.
Thank you very much. And I thought we act, or rather we should always be ready whenever we are called upon. And I actually thought I would be the last, but since I've been called upon, let me, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
And your first topic, tell us the title of yours.
The title is how to use it.
Okay, so you are not first. Wow, I am really
I think I was the last because I did the 4th chapter.
Patrick, and that's why we communicate. Which one of the 4 of you are doing the thing itself.
I am the thing itself.
Please, Patrick, Philip, start us off. Patrick, I'm so grateful for all of us. Thank you for your patience.
Okay, you said it all, Philip. I am the thing itself.
Yes, and today is the first time that the son comes before the father. So, yes, when I was requested to speak about the thing itself, I was just from the shower thinking about the thing itself. So when Reverend Barb asked me, I said, that is the one that I feel is speaking to me. And I chose it and I ran away with it. And so, yes, when we say affirmative prayer, we start by recognizing that there is only one power. And that is the power that there is. It is implicit in each and every living being, every non-living being, and also occupies all the spaces in between. There is no place where this thing itself is not. It is the power back of all creation. And it is intelligent. And because it is first cause, that means there's nothing apart from it. And so to claim we are a part of it would mean separation, which is impossible. So knowing that we are one with this thing itself, we know that, yes, we are one. But let me remind you about that oneness does not mean sameness. Each of us is unique. Each of us is an individual expression of that thing itself. And there are no rules to play by. And to think that God requires us to act in a certain way without letting man and woman discover for themselves, it would be an impossibility, because individuality must be spontaneous. We have choice. We can choose each and every moment of where we are right now. We can choose each and every moment, and there are no rules. There are no rules to play by. The thing itself has no rule book. And in that choice, in that being ourselves, in that being individuals, we know at the soul level that individuality and freedom is our birthright. We know that a life of bondage, a life of strife, a life of struggle is not God ordained. And that knowing at soul level is what drives us to forever seek self-expression, to forever be individuals, to forever seek freedom, to forever look at ourselves and choose what we are called to be. We can be called to be singers. We can be called to be speakers. We can be called to be authors. We can be called to be painters. And each and every calling, each and every expression of ourselves to ourselves, each and every revealing is God, is the thing itself speaking to us and revealing itself to us. So we accept this thing and we believe in it. We know that this first cause, this spirit, this mind is backed by immutable, invisible principles. first cause is love. Immutable principles is law. This then is what Ernest Holmes taught. Love and law. As the love of God is perfect, so is the law of God. And since we're talking about immutable principles, this means that each one of us being one with these principles, being one with this love, we're reminded that the universe does not play favorites. The universe will not choose my prayer over Karon's prayer. The universe will not move its laws so that when I jump out of the Empire State Building, I will not fall down in a splatter, and someone else will fall down. So the universe does not play favorites, and it is not a respecter of persons. It does not care whether I am quote unquote good, whether I am quote unquote bad. And this was reflected in the Bible. In Revelations 22:17, where it said, let him stroke her that is athirst come, and whosoever will, let them take the water of life freely. And knowing that the universe does not play favorites again, we might be tempted to ask why some people's prayers are answered and while not for others. Is it that God chooses my prayer over someone else's? And this again was answered by Jesus in Matthew 45. To paraphrase, he said, God sends rain to the just and unjust. And one time I used to blame the rain, and I remembered it also rains on the rich. So there is no time to be a victim. Everything happens in accordance with the law, in accordance with love. And that means that those who see that their prayers have been answered, it's not that God has answered to them or the thing itself has answered to them. It simply means that they themselves, their prayers have been answered and they have responded to God by corresponding to the laws. And speaking about prayer, we know that a prayer's answer is in the prayer. A prayer is the movement of thought within our minds for a specific purpose. We know we all have minds. We all know what our minds do. But we cannot touch the mind. We know what it does. We can describe it. And our individual minds are one with that one mind, which is beyond our grasp and yet within our grasp. Meaning we are it to the extent of our embodiment. We are it to the extent of our vessels, but we can never encompass it because God, the thing itself, is so vast. So when speaking about the capital M mind, the mind of God, it is classified into two. And there are not two minds, just one mind. But we use two words to describe the states of the mind, which is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. which is the love and the law. In using both, we get manifestation. Seed, which is the conscious mind, which is love. Soil, which is the subconscious mind, which is the law. And plant, which is manifestation, is the answered prayer. This reminds us that we have limitless power at our disposal. Since there's only one subjective mind, which is the law in the universe. And when we use it, it becomes our law, and we can individualize it at any moment of our choosing. In conclusion, there's a power in the universe that honors our faith in it. There's a law in the universe which always gives results according to our belief. We can say then that man and woman is one with God, one with the Spirit, and one with the law of the whole. And to manifest our greater good, we use the creative process to plant the seed of our thoughts into the subjective mind that is our soul, and see the magic unfold. And this, my friends, is the thing itself. Namaste and thank you.
Wow, Philip, that's so powerful, so clear, so good. Thank you so much. You were called to be first. You were called to do that. And it was beautiful and powerful. Thank you. And just so you know, we will open up at the end for questions of all of our speakers today. So that is the thing itself. And number 2 is the way it works. So who is that? The way it works.
So that is me.
Thank you, Ms. Rehema. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rehema. Send our love out to her. We're so proud to have her.
Thank you. So I'll just dive into it. So I am Rehema, and I am a practitioner in training. And today I will be speaking about the second part of the Introduction to the Science of Mind book, which is the way it works. And as we've heard from Philip about the thing itself, which is the source of everything that is, which is energy, which is intelligence, spirit, life, all that we call God. And that is the first cause. And the thing itself finds expression in and through everything. It finds expression through all that which is energized and all that which is life. And the way it works is by working through us, as us, every time and all the time. And, you know, as I was preparing for this and reading about the way it works, at the beginning, of course, I was feeling anxious that I might not be able to pass this message across in a way that it would be understood. And because Emerson's English, it does feel like a challenge sometimes. So I went to the internet, as I usually do, to see whether there were any other simpler words that I could use to talk about the way it works. And then, you know, it hit me that even if I did get simpler words, they would not be my words. And it will not be my understanding of the way it works, which is divinely, you know, spoken through me. Because the way it works is through me as me. I decided to let spirit do what it does best, use me as a vessel, through my thoughts, through the emotions, as I embody the way it works right here, right now. So now if the thing itself, which I choose to call God, works by working through us all the time, the question that we will be asking is, how can God then become power to us? You know, power that we can breathe, live, move, and have our being in. And this only happens when we recognize God as power. And this is the greatest awareness. And we, you know, when you're doing spiritual mind treatment, this is the first step, because we are recognizing that God is power. And as God is the first cause, the beginning of everything that is, if we recognize that we are made of this first cause and we recognize God as power, then having been made out of this power, we are power, we embody that power. And I know this is the same even for the other names that we choose to give the thing itself. If we recognize God as energy, as intelligence, as love, spirit, as life itself, then we become aware of our oneness with all of it. And we are all that which we recognize God as. And I'm sure many of us have heard the saying that ignorance of the law is not a defense. I love that. So for us in the science of mind, ignorance of the truth will not save us from the conditions that we suffer as a result of misusing this power that is God. Because God is always working through us, even when we are ignorant of this truth. And until we are aware of this truth, we will continue living as if we are bound. If we are not aware of this power, we continue living as if life is happening to us, while in truth, life is always happening through us, for us and as us. And whether we are aware of this or not, it continues as it is, because that is what the thing itself, that's the way it works. And in this awareness, with recognition of this power, we get to come to freedom. There's a quote I love that says, when you know better, you do better. So this awareness is like tearing of the veil of ignorance, and it helps us to embody this power for it to work through us and to do it consciously. So in addition to recognition, belief is also important for the thing itself to work and bring conditions that align with who we are. It is done unto you as you believe is a summation of the way it works. Because the thing itself is vast, it's limitless, infinite, like an ever bubbling spring of infinite goodness. And because there's only good, our belief determines how much good we can be able to access from this infinite spring. If we believe that we can only experience a little good from this vastness of good, then that is what our experience will be. A limited experience full of not enoughness, full of lack, an experience that feels like we are still bound. And Emerson says that there's no great or small to the soul that makes because the way it works is through us. When we embody this truth, our experience will be of the greatest good that there is, for we are that power, for there is nothing that is great or little to God. As much as we can recognize this power and believe in this power, it opens or closes our ability to be receptive to the good that is already available to us. And this receptivity determines how little or how great our experiences are going to be. And the other question that we can ask is, how much can we believe? And Emerson says that it is as much as we can believe. So it is therefore within our power to open or close that flow of good. So we are surrounded by it, we are immersed in it, and there is flowing through us all that which is God. And when we believe, God then acts accordingly and according to that belief. If we have certain ways of thinking, ways of believing that causes limitation, that causes suffering, changing those beliefs will change the conditions that we see in our day-to-day experiences. And we're always saying, change our thinking, change our lives. So when we change our thinking, we change our lives, for we start creating, that awareness, that recognition that God is power. And so as I conclude, just as we are now, in the planting season here in Kenya, and just as farmers, plant seeds, Philip, knowing that they shall harvest, the law works from the time the seeds are planted to the time that we harvest, and it applies to all the farmers alike. And this law, it shows no favors to anyone. And in the same way, we are farmers in spirit. We are planting seeds in our lives as ideas, as thoughts, emotions that we choose to have every day. And so this same law that applies to the farmers is available to us, and it works every time, all the time. So then we must know in our minds that there is only good that is available to us. And our recognition of God as power makes us power itself. And our level of belief that it works through us, our faith in the availability of this power, this good, this life, our receptivity of it, those are the things that, pave the way of us experiencing greater good. And for we're always planting, all we need to now look into is how do we weed out the doubts, prune the unwanted thoughts, and expand our recognition of the power that is for it to work through us and as us. And that is the way it works. Thank you.
Wow, Rehema, show some love, the wisdom. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that you were here to share your love with us. And I'm so profoundly, deeply moved by everything so far. Okay, so as we move into what it does, we have our newest ministerial student, Paul, to deliver that message. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my joy to introduce you and share our beautiful Zoom stage with Paul. Put your hands in love together for him.
Thank you. Thank you. What it does. This is the third chapter of this wonderful book. What it does. As I was trying to understand or to remind myself what it does, I found it necessary to read the chapters before and the chapters after. And I appreciated that once you read any one of these 4 chapters, you kind of get a summary of the whole. There is a lot of repetition in between. And so maybe part of what I'm going to say has already been said and need to be said again. However, I would like to, I told myself, what is this thing? What is it? And as Philip had well put it, it is that universal spirit, that thing that you want to call God, or whatever it is that you want to call. It is what we are referring to as what it does. And before I go to what it does, the way I understood this chapter, Ernest Holmes gave a definition of God, and I'm going to give it in my own words. Everything in this world has its own basic component or chemical composition. If, for example, we take water, we say it's 2 atoms of hydrogen plus 1 of oxygen, and then it's H2O, that is water. So Ernest Holmes kind of gave I don't know whether it's a chemical composition or whatever you want to call it, of God. And that composition is L and L. So God is L and L. God is love and law. That is the thing itself. And we need to understand this so that we can see what it does. This thing is love. It's always giving itself. It's always unconditionally being there for us. Every time when we wake up, there is air, there is enough joy, there is everything of everything. That is God giving itself. That is the element of love. And the law is how that love is expressed, because it's expressed in a definite way and in an automatic way. It's very repeatable. So L and L, that is love and law, is the basic composition of this God. What does it do? Even as I go into details, I want to say this. What this thing does is taking form. Taking form. If I give an analogy of the substance that is used to make like these plastics, whatever that thing is, we can make so many things out of plastics. We can make bio pens, we can make cups, we can make washing basins, whatever it is, but the substance is the same. It just takes different forms. And that is what this thing does. It also takes form. Form based on a specific mold. And that specific mold is our thoughts. Our thoughts create the mold through which this thing does what it does. It just takes that form. So whatever thought that we may have, that is the form that God will take. And that is why we have this expression that God always says yes. Yes to the form, yes to the mold that we have already created. And Anna's form cautions us not to make the mistake of thinking that since we create the mold, we are creating the substance. The substance is always there. We do not create God. Whatever it is that we want, we can only experience it to the extent that we have created that mold. Wealth is already here. Health is already here. Peace is already here. All those qualities of God are already here. We create the mold and God takes form. So what this thing does is taking form. And it does it in a scientific and repeatable manner that is proven. And that is the beauty of the science of mind, because it tells us that since this nature of God is so precise according to the law, it is repeatable. You can use it for your own good and to the extent that you want to use it. There was a time I was working on the field. I had a grass cutter, a mechanical one that I used to cut the grass. And then it backfired. It wasn't working well. I tried to repair it. So I called on one of my sons to help me get it started. I couldn't get it to start. And he came, he's good with machines. So he was able to restart it. And since I had taken so much time to have it work, immediately it worked. I told him, now, don't touch it again. Let me take it and go and work. He told me, no, hold it. I said, no. You might touch something and then it will backfire. And he says, no, this is not magic. This is science. If it worked the first time, it will work again. And though I was agreeing with him, I felt I didn't want him to touch it and I didn't want him to stop it. So, but he stopped it and he tried it again and it worked. He knew this is a science. If he had repaired it well, it would work. So the same thing happens when we talk of what this thing does. It does it today, it will do it tomorrow, it will do it the day after. It is proven. And this is the beauty of our affirmative prayer. Anna's form tells us that this good that is available here, it is available, all of it. And how much of it that we can we use? We can use as much as we are able to create a mold, as much as we are able to think into it. So we are asked, if you have an experience that you're not happy with, you just need to go back and rethink and create another experience through our thoughts, because it is definite. God will take form. God will respond with affirmative prayer. To an affirmative prayer, God will always respond with an yes. I would want to conclude with a statement that I really found interesting and kind of answered my need or my search for truth. And it's found in this fourth chapter. It's on page 47. So if you have time, you can look it up. It's on page 47. Another song says, let us waste no further time looking for the secret of success or the key to happiness. Already, the door is open and whoever wills may enter. Just create the form, just create, have the thought, and God will take form. Namaste. Thank you.
Oh, I'm just feeling we are in the midst of some incredible wisdom being shared today. Thank you so much for that insight, Paul. And the analogy, just really, really beautiful too. Thank you, rings it home. So that is what it does. And now to solidify that and bring it home and how to use it. I wanted to start with him, but he insisted he went last. So grateful for your grace and patience. Put your love and your energy together and welcome Patrick to the stage, our Zoom stage, everyone. Patrick, how to use it?
Thank you very much, Barbara. And also, I think the Bible has been quoted quite a bit today. The Bible also says the first will be the last. So here I am being the last. And again, as I start my presentation, speaking about how to use it, and as I do, I would like to comment about our speakers on what they said, particularly when you read the 4 chapters, it's like all connected, because whatever Philip said, Rehema said, Paul has said, all talking about it.
Patrick, maybe you should
How it
turn
works.
off your video because you're glitching.
And this is, okay.
Yeah, maybe try that. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Fine, thank you. So as I continue, I say, as Paul said, all these, many of the topics, many of the issues we are talking about here kind of coincide. When you read the 4 chapters, it's like there's a bit of repetition. And as I was saying, what Philip said and what I prepared, also what Paul prepared, and also what was prepared. And I was a journalist. I used to cover courts. And the first time I heard that what Rehema has just said, that ignorance of the law is no excuse, it hit me. Because whether you know or not, you break the law, you have it, you get it. And it was in my preparation, but then she has said, I think she works in courts. But anyway, a few years ago, I think you remember there was this famous, I think about a decade or 2 ago, there was this famous movie. It was called The Secret. And The Secret became a hit because it apparently gave a magic trick on how to get whatever you wanted. And as I watched it, I had somebody who was being interviewed saying that the universe, like the character in the Fable Jean story, is always at our service, and our wish is our command. I could not understand it. How can the whole universe answer to our command? How? I mean, it's so big out there. So how would it answer our command? Until I came to Centers of Spiritual Living, Kenya, and I learned that God, who is also love, also law, also universe, always says yes. I was requested today to, because as we said earlier, there's people who believe that their prayers are never answered. But using the law is not as difficult as one would imagine, because whether we know it or not, we have always used this law. Because there's no way you cannot use this law, or rather, there's no way you can use something that is always with us, all surrounding us and flowing through us. And in fact, each one of us is an extension of this love, this law, because we know that we are one with it. And we also know that there is a power. We are told that there's a power, there's an intelligence surrounding us, and that we can use it. Not only can we use it, but we actually use it daily. But perhaps due to ignorance, we use it in a way that is detrimental to us. And I would therefore rephrase the title of this talk from how to use it to how to use it in our advantage. Because we are always using it, but due to ignorance, we use it to our disadvantage. So how can we use to our advantage? As I was reading this chapter, I could not help remembering the first and second steps of spiritual mind treatment. Recognition of the law, which is powerful and available everywhere. Then the unification, that's the second step. The knowing that this power expresses itself through us, for us, and as us. And we normally say this thing as we are doing our, spiritual mind treatment as a normal thing, through us, as us, for us, without sometimes even thinking deeper into it. But when we say it works as us, for me, it means it expresses itself as the way we think. The way you think, that way, that's how it's going to express itself, in your universe, in your surrounding, in your, where your activities. And Holmes reminds us that we are a thinking center, and the way we think is how the law reflects in our lives. The way we think into this law is how it works. The law gets stuff according to our thoughts, feeling, dominant thoughts. You have always heard this saying, what you see is what you get. I like to say it now that what you see in your mind is what you get. So it is therefore our duty to direct the law on how we would like it to work in our lives. Instead of being victims to our own, we can use this thought to what we don't want. Always says yes. And this reminds me of the days of the sailing ships. Long before the steam engine was invented, sailing ships would use the wind power to propel them to the destination the captain wanted. The wind would blow on the sails, which would then push the ship towards the intended direction. All the captain needed to know is how to use the sails, because the wind was always blew in any direction and could have taken the ship anywhere if the sails were not set right. If the sails were not set at all, the ship would not move. But in order for the ship to go to a desired destination, the sails had to be adjusted according to the direction or speed of the wind. The wind is the law. The sails are your thoughts. How are they set? And while preparing this, I was asked to give a personal story, my own experience. I've got quite a number of them, but I'll give this particular one. And this is about the power of gratitude. And I know Michelle will like this because, as I said before, for many years I have shared a journal recording stuff happening in my life, venting to writing all the bad things, disappointments that has happened on that day, feeling sorry for myself for being a victim, I was. And despite hoping for the better day tomorrow, things never seemed to improve, and each day kept on bringing more disappointments and worse scenarios. This was until I discovered the power of gratitude and started keeping gratitude journal instead. Being grateful and genuinely happy at the end of the day thing that has happened during the day. This then life started changing for the better because I was now feeling the law, or rather I was feeding the law with different frequencies and a new set of wishes. So by consciously thinking correctly, we use the law to do definite things for us. By conscious thinking, we give conscious direction to it. It will still respond to everyone since it is no respecter of persons. The law is innocent, and it is just is, and it will give you what you have asked for, consciously or unconsciously. We should therefore be more conscious of our thoughts and what we tell ourselves all day long, since that will be the command we are sending to the universe, and the law will respond accordingly. Your thoughts and feelings are the way you command the law. That is why science of mind that's why in science of mind we have affirmations and spiritual mind treatment, which should keep you in check whenever your thoughts might veer into negativity. Since thoughts are your sails, you have to set them right by turning your thoughts from lack and want and limitation. Let them dwell on the good. Learn to think what you wish to become. Whenever you catch yourself thinking negatively, reverse the thought by replacing it with a positive one. As I wind up, and as I said earlier on, in court of law, there's a saying that ignorance of the law is no excuse. If you committed an offense and you said you didn't know that it was against the law, the judge or the prosecutor will always tell you ignorance of the law is no excuse. And so the infinite law works the same way. Ignore it at your own peril. Namaste.
Wow. Oh my gosh, Patrick. Learn to think, you said, what you wish to become. And since your thoughts are your sails, you have to set them right by turning your thoughts. I love, what a beautiful summation of everything, of all of this. Everyone, put your love together.
Yes,
for
yes.
our speakers.
Thank you.
We have Philip, Rehema, Paul, and Patrick. We are so blessed to have you share your wisdom with each and every one of us. Oh!
He had to come and meet with me.
I love it. That's how you happen to know he was coming. Okay.
Yeah, I had to leave so that he can deliver his talk. So I went off because we had poor bandwidth.
Oh,
It's so wonderful having techie people close by that they can just run over.
I love that. I love that.
Thanks,
So,
Philip.
Thank you so much, all of you, for that. That to me was profound. That sets the stage, the thing itself, the way it works, what it does, and how to use it. I am so deeply grateful for each and every one of you sharing your love with us. Now, I want to, do we have a few minutes? Can we expand this? Does everyone, are you willing to stay? Because if you're willing to stay, we can do a 3-minute meditation on what we just absorbed. We'll ask Reverend Gwen to do a benediction. We can do our affirmations together, and then we have some announcements. Are we all willing to stay an extra few moments? I know I'm stretching it. Okay, Reverend Claire, are you willing to take us in a 3-minute little journey of meditation to plant this seed that we've just received? Go ahead, my friend.
Absolutely. All right.
let's just pause in this space of gratitude, the space of love, this space of connection. Take a breath in, and we breathe in a sense of peace, a sense of knowing, and we breathe out any sense of separation or confusion. We simply let ourselves rest for a moment in the silence, focusing on the thing itself. Love and law, the freedom we have to choose to open ourselves, the joy of being on this path together, supporting each other, teaching each other, loving each other. We simply let ourselves soak it in. Right here, right now, we remember. We remember who we are. We open ourselves to that good that surrounds us. We let this be. We know all is well. And we end this short time of meditation together by saying together, and so it is.
And so it is.
And so it is.
So it is.
And so it
Before
is.
we move to our benediction and our affirmation.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Come on, keep it coming. That's my affirmation. And so it is. I love it.
Let's do the affirmations and then I'll go right into the benediction.
Well, I'd love to do the announcements if we could do those first.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes, do you or Michelle want to talk about the youth group that's coming up?
You take it away, Michelle.
Oh, good.
So it's the youth camp, it's the classes coming up, and the Teze. Those are the three announcements you can make. Okay, let us know the deets.
Okay, so this coming Wednesday, we're going to have our very first in-person youth camp. Quite excited, most of us, except for the people who have to spend the night. But those of us in North America are so jazzed.
And I want to be there.
To be there.
So we're taking children from 12 to 16. If you happen to have a child that we have don't know about, let us know because it'll be Wednesday afternoon, all day Thursday, and then Friday until noon. So it's quite exciting, and it's the first of our annual teen camp in person. The kids asked for it, and so we've been very quickly putting it together. Classes. We have 3 classes. Roots, if you're interested in going on to practitioner training, Roots is a required class, but it's also a very deep and exciting class. It's Karen's and my favorite class, actually. There's the Art and Science of Treatment. So we're revamping the curriculum right now. And so this will go into teaching you the process and the theory and the history behind treatment. It's a new class out of home office, and that's quite exciting. And we have the metaphorical Bible with Reverend Claire and Reverend Myrna. And they love the Bible, and they are off and running, putting together an amazing class that has never been offered before. So if you like the Bible, that would be a great one to sign up. Okay, so we need to know though quickly because Nancy is going to camp next week and won't be available those 3 days. So she has to get everything printed, and you need the manuals, the student manuals, the first day of class, because in treatment and in Roots, there's some pretty definite content that you have to have access to in the class. So please let us know ASAP. And then Tizay, we are so excited.
La 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 la.
We have been started for the one on the 20th, which is our next Froggy Friday. It's about intention setting. So it's going to be great to set your intention for 2023, and we'll take you through that process with readings and quiet and beautiful singing by our CSL Kenya choir. And we have been translating my Google Kiswahili into real Kiswahili. So we have such a good time when we're practicing. So please come. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
And bring a candle and a journal or something to write on.
Good. Thank you for that reminder. So also we have our monthly visioning coming up next week at 8 p.m. Kenya time. So if you want to be part of the visioning team for CSL Kenya, because we have a conference coming up. So please come next Friday at 8. And then we're looking at Tizay as something that we will continue on a regular basis. So we've used my Tizays, these first 2, but if you're interested in creating your own Tizay, please stay after for a little bit and I'll get you started, and we will walk and support you all the way through creating your own that can come later this year. All right, I think did I hit it all?
Yes, don't forget to talk about on Saturday, February 4th, we're having our reunion.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yes. So Saturday, February 4th is our annual meetup, and it will be where we share our history, our year in review. So make sure that you attend, because a lot of our community will be sharing what's been happening, which has been, we've had an amazing year. We have a lot of fruits this year.
Okay.
2022, we had several goals, and there's only one that really wasn't realized. Everything else was realized. So tremendous work. Give yourselves big pats on the back. Thanks to the leadership. Honestly, it's been a profound, tremendous year for CSLK.
It's because you have continued to show up. You continue to grow with us. You continue to share your love and life with us. And we are deeply, deeply grateful. And now we're going to do some affirmations, and then Reverend Gwen's going to treat us out. And if you need to stick around for some treatment, we happen to have a couple of practitioners in the house today. I'm just saying.
Put up your hands now if you want on your little reaction.
So I will read the line and you can read it out after as you raise your hand for treatment. Are you ready? Unmute yourselves. Unmute, unmute, unmute. You too, you too. I start the new year and continue every day sending and receiving peace and love. Go.
I start the new year and
Start the new year
Continue
and
every day.
continue every day, sending
Start the new and
peace and love.
I choose to only focus on things I can control and let go of worry about the rest.
I
choose
choose
to only
to only
focus on things I
focus on
can
things I can
control,
control,
not
don't worry about the rest.
As I feel happy, I am manifesting more reasons to be happy.
As I am happy,
Feel happy,
manifesting more reasons
more
to be
reasons to be
happy.
happy.
I am prepared. I am prepared for success, love, happiness, peace, joy, and abundance. I am prepared for my wildest dreams to come true. Go.
today I'm
Today I am
I'm
prepared
prepared for success, happiness,
happiness,
joy, and
joy and
abundance.
abundance.
prepared for my wildest to come true.
I love the echo. Wildest dreams to come true, to come true. I love this moment. Oh, Reverend Gwen and I and our entire board, CLF, our entire board of directors, every teacher, every educator, every heart, thanks you for joining us today. We have Christine and Donna who have their hands up for treatment. Do you have them assigned, Michelle?
Almost. I'm
Okay.
just signing Christine now.
And as for the rest of you, go forth and shine the love and light that you are. Be well, stay blessed, and know that you are loved.